All right, kiddos, for Thursday's bell ringer, we have capitalization. We would capitalize the beginning of the sentence. Here, we would have to think about agents because agents, if paired with a name, like Agent Exum, then it would get capitalized because it becomes a title. But in this situation, we are just generically talking about the agents of this organization. So it does not get capitalized. However, the organization itself does. The SHIELD of SHIELD is an acronym for the title of that organization. So they all get capitalized. Then we have director, which here is acting as a title for Jeffrey S. Mace. We have paired it with his name, so it does get capitalized. Jeffrey is his first name, S is his middle initial, and Mace is his last name, so all three of those get capitalized for being names. And then Friday gets capitalized for being a day of the week. Number 2, I want a vacation, said Colson. I want a vacation is what he said. So it gets the quotation marks. And we know a quote cannot be by itself. It has to be inside a sentence. So we have to separate the quote from the sentence with a comma. And if you'll notice, the period was actually included this week. Number 3, Fitz and Simmons whine and complain. The sentence is about Fitz and Simmons. Both of them are people, so that makes them nouns. And because the sentence is about them, they are both subjects. So subject nouns for Fitz and Simmons. What did Fitz and Simmons do? They whine and they complain. These are the two things they do, which makes them verbs. The action, however, stops with whine and it stops with complain because we don't know if they complained about something or if they complained in a certain way, or the same for whine. So each of them are intransitive because intransitive means the movement or the motion stops with the verb. We know from Tuesday that and is always a fanboys, which makes it a conjunction. So then our diagram, just like Tuesday's, has 2 subject noun lines. We have 2 verb lines. We still separate our subject from our predicate. And because these 2 things do the same job, they get linked together with our chain or dotted line. And these 2 things do the same thing, so they get linked together with a dotted line. And then and, being the word that connects them in the sentence, is what goes inside the triangle. Number 5, the Sokovia Accords were created by the United Nations. Copies were approved by 117 countries. Avengers must register their abilities with the government. There's really not any repetition here, and I don't really see any definitions. We know what they did, but we don't really know what they are, unless you want to use this last one as a definition. Avengers must register their abilities with the government tells us what the Accords is. So we could do that. It's a definition. If I do that, I start with what I'm defining. So the Sokovia Accords. Then I put my comma. What are they? We could say Avengers must register their abilities with the government. The government, comma, they were created by the United Nations and copies were approved by 117 countries. We could say that. Were created by the UN and copies were approved by, this one's long today, approved by 117 countries. Okay, because we used a fanboy here, and this part of our sentence is a complete sentence, and so is this one, I actually need to have a comma in front of my fanboy. All right, that is today's bell ringer. If you have any questions, please let me know.